Guys, I spend way too much money on unhealthy food getting delivered to my house using those apps.
Service fees are crazy.
I know, it's too expensive. But that's where our sponsor comes in, Huel. These are basically no prep time meals where you can still stay healthy on the go or when you have no time.
Yeah, I've had Huel here in the office for well over a year. It's perfect for when I forget my lunch or just need an extra meal in the middle of the afternoon.
No, yeah, I've been using it as a post-workout meal. It's got 40 grams of protein, so it really helps me recover and get these big muscles.
So if you want to save time, save money, and still eat healthy, you can use our code AngryJoe below for 15% off your first Huel order. Plus, you'll get a free welcome package which has got a t-shirt and the shaker, $40 value. That's code AngryJoe for 15% off at Huel.com/AngryJoe. Having a super busy life should not prevent you from eating healthy. So check out Huel today. Thank you so much to our new sponsors, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Here we are. The Last of Us HBO series, season 2. This big 2 years later, and I feel like we are on the Titanic with some burning dumpster fires on board.
I don't want it.
And we are about to hit an iceberg, and it is going to be an interesting watch in episode 2. If it does the natural pacing, because it feels like it's impending here, but it's actually going to be so fucking annoying if they drag that, the golf tournament moment out until the end of the fucking last episode. That would piss me off. It probably would let viewers empathize more with what's about to, the other character they've introduced here, Abby, before the tournament, but yeah. I don't know. So I even shouldn't be holding this. This should be.
It's mine.
This should go to Alex.
Huge.
That's right. I'm about to get killed as Joel. I predict. So if you don't know, our previous Last of Us reviews, we overall liked the series. Yeah. We thought that the casting was excellent. Joel, as Pedro Pascal does an excellent job. They stuck relatively close to the games. It was a perfect adaptation. Meanwhile, we had other shows like Halo around the same time, just fucking it up. And this was an example of a good one. They made some changes, and most of them were good. However, that was a 10 out of 10 game, which me and Joe rated 10 out of 10. And then the series, some ups and downs. And by the end of the series, I gave it an 8 out of 10. So, really good adaptation. Here we go with The Last of Us Part 2, which famously we did not like as much as the first game for certain choices that Neil Druckmann made, certain themes, whether they were executed well, whether it was pointless, and various executions weren't done so well. So I imagine we're probably not going to, depending on if it stays close to the games, we're probably not going to like it as much as the first season in the first place. Because we didn't like the story in the first place. But they do have the opportunity to make improvements. But Neil Druckmann is stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? Because he doesn't want to change things, because then that would give the haters fuel and it would make the defenders look like idiots. So he's really kind of stuck. So I don't imagine that they're going to make a bunch of radical changes.
I don't think so.
Like, a certain character just, a completely different story. I don't think that's happening. We're getting what we got in the video games.
Yeah.
And I predict that casual viewers of this show will start to hate this as much as gamers did. With a few exceptions, of course. There are even a few gamers who, think that that's the smartest piece of media we've ever had and made until now.
There were horrible defenders of the show, but there were also, this is a tough thing to discuss, because like any contentious piece of media, because there are people that hated it because they're And I'm not saying everyone who hated it's a piece of shit, but there were pieces of shit that hated it because they, because they're, whatever are the ists. And there were people that defended it because they always go against those things. And I think the truth here kind of lies in the middle.
Yeah, and it's also difficult to be a critic in this season, especially for the live-action adaptation, because there are, like that crowd, people who hate the show just simply for Ellie's physical appearance, and they say some of the meanest shit I've seen online.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. And so when we criticize, Ellie or Ellie's performance or, the actress's performance, I just want to make clear that we don't stand with any of those people because, unfortunately, I am having problems with this version of Ellie, Bella Ramsey. I don't think this is working quite as well as she did for season 1 because I think she did a fantastic, the spunky, the in your face, the brash, the spoiled kind of thing.
Yeah, now just
works for Ellie. This is supposed to be 5 years later. She's supposed to have grown into a woman. Her character model is almost completely different. She's bigger, taller, stronger. Kind of more dour, relaxed, and none of that is the case here. In fact, Bella Ramsey doesn't look like she's aged at all. She still looks like she's 14 to me. And certain scenes happen in this that I am just not buying whatsoever. At one point, she's fighting this huge grown man, and I am laughing. It's not good. And considering what the transformation of Ellie is supposed to happen in fucking Murder Ninja. Okay, she goes crazy. I don't think I'm going to buy it quite as much, especially when it comes to the hospital bit, what she encounters in the hospital bit. That is going to look hilarious. Bella Ramsey going up with what happens in the hospital, right, Joe? And then Murder Ninja versus Big Beefy. Alex is just jacked.
She's not,
Abby.
Well, we don't know. We haven't seen her yet.
Okay, so that's true. A lot of criticism I've already seen online is they couldn't pay Caitlin Denver enough to bulk up. They couldn't feed her enough testosterone and growth hormones. And she said, no, I'm not doing it. Showing how comically oversized Abby was in the video game.
How fucking dare you?
Which we enjoyed.
We loved it.
Abby has the best gameplay.
It's just like one-shotting zombies with
It was
a fist.
fucking great gameplay.
But no, Alex is right. A lot of these people typing those comments, you're telling on yourself. You must not have played the game or paid attention because when Abby discovers that her father is dead, she's not bulked up. She's skinny. And it's over the course.
She just starts
of
juicing.
the next
5 years later.
She becomes
yeah.
obsessed.
Yes.
She's just jacked. But still, it's still unrealistic because I don't think you can get that big and that jacked over that amount
Not
of
in
time.
the apocalypse.
At least not
You
the
need
way
more
she was
protein.
in the
Not when
video
we're rationing.
game.
Not when we're rationing food. It takes a lot to be big.
Everyone's all scrawny. She's all huge. She's like, it's all mine.
That was one of my
Give me your
favorite
burrito.
parts, but, it's already confirmed that this series has been split. Or has been stretched out essentially, whereas season 1
make that
was
money.
right exactly for
It's a great
HBO.
show
They're
for
like,
HBO.
how many can we get out of this? Well, we're getting 7 episodes. I imagine that it's probably been a season cut in 2. I think I'm gonna guesstimate 14 total. Like the next season gonna be 7, maybe even less, 6 or something. Season 3. And I find that just annoying.
And then it ends. We're not getting any more unless they are splitting the second game into 3 seasons because the show leads like I'm not going beyond the video games, period.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of have a little bit of problems with the casting because Caitlin Denver looks like an Ellie to me. She looks like she would have been perfect for Ellie in season 1. And then there's an actress out there from Love Lies Bleeding, and I think she was also in the Star Wars, one of the Star Wars, Katie O'Brien. Do you know who I'm talking about? She got kind of short hair, and she's bulked up. It's like, dude, that would have been the perfect freaking, Abby. But For whatever reason, they went with Caitlin Dever, which just emphasizes how Ellie doesn't look like Ellie, especially this version, a more grown-up Ellie. So there's a lot of problems there. But before I go on and kind of give my overall opinion, let's hear from the boys. What did you think of episode 1 of season 2?
Episode 1, I still like it. It's this was a pretty good. It still holds up with the cinematography. I love it. The sets is great. Joel is great. I fucking love Joel. But I am worried again. Ellie is kind of being a little over the top sometimes, and I don't know if they're gonna be. I want to be optimistic because you're saying they're gonna stretch it out.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's going to be a lot of fillers, a lot of stuff I don't care about, especially if, like, Ellie has to carry the show.
Mm-hmm.
I started noticing, like, in the first season, like, I don't kind of want this.
She is going to have to carry the show.
Yeah,
At some point.
Yeah, we're going to have to get some flashbacks. I know that. But other than that, I think this is going to be a lower score for me.
I think there's some really great scenes here. I think that so many people that are involved with it, like actors, have done a killer job. Anything with Pedro Pascal has been great. Yeah. I like Tommy. Dina is wonderful. I was like, hey, what I really like this character. This is going to be really interesting.
Dina in the show more than the game.
Yeah, and that was actually one of the problems I had with it because in the game I didn't feel that there was long segments where it's just Ellie and Dina, and I was like, this isn't as good as the dialogue between Ellie and Joel, and it didn't endear me to these characters. This Dina I like immediately, so I think they've done a good job there.
You know, she's in Superman. Of course I know that. Oh. She's the Hawk Girl. She's gonna be Hawk Girl in Superman.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I think that there's some things here. I think they are playing the Ellie character a little over the top. Like, look how brash I am. It's like I if we're just catching up the audience, and this is the only time that we do it. But like when they're playing with like super serious situations where it's like, hey, you keep going on your own. No one knows that you're immune. Like, stop it. You are endangering everyone who lives here. This is we're talking about leaving refugees out. Like, and you're threatening everything here just because you want to be brash. Like, there can't be no consequences for her all the time.
I almost feel like this is they just said be the same as you
exactly.
Were in
so it's
1.
like I wanted there to be a little bit more consequence. But I mean, look, we're trying to judge the show based on the first one, and so just on the first one, I think that there's some stuff that works, but I'm worried about a lot of stuff that is coming later because we played the games and we know, and so things have to evolve.
I'm a little more negative. I don't think this works quite as well. Alex has mentioned it before. Pretty much, I mean, almost every single time these things happen in a bad way. When you change something, it has to be for the better. Yeah. Especially when it's done at the excellent level that it was done in the past. And I think pretty much every single change here was either annoying, nonsensical, or worse than the previous one. They've replaced an amazing scene between, Joel and his brother with a fucking therapist scene in the apocalypse, which I hated. You got.
I love that actress though.
I love that actress. Yeah, Home Alone lady. No, but she's a great actress, and she really sells the scene. And I'm saying, as far as acting goes, she did her job. But I hate the scene. I don't feel like Joel is the therapy type. And in it, he's talking weird. He's like, yeah, I'm a good guy. It's like, I don't think even Joel would even say that he believes he's a good guy just so outright.
Looks up to me, makes me feel like I'm a good guy, which I am. See, Dina understands me, like she's my kid or something.
And then he goes to therapy to the woman who is the wife of somebody he killed.
Eugene. I was like, I had to look it up.
It's fucking stupid.
I was like, who?
Right, yeah. It's like, who is Eugene? And I think a lot of people will be lost with this. Eugene was a really small, tiny part of the game. I think what it was is he was one of the example of a person that just passed away naturally. So the change, and they were, I think it was Dina and Ellie that were talking about it. It's like, man, we can't wait to grow old and die like Eugene instead of dying horribly to these fucking apocalypse creatures out there. And I think that was important. And you're taking that and you're butchering it, and now you're giving more reasons. And all of this is clearly done to have more reasons to hate on Joel, because of what's going to happen in the future. Joel is apparently he kills her husband, and she's like, it's the way that you did it, and it's like, and more deriding
She
Joel.
understood
is just-
why it needed to be done, though.
She did say that, but she's just mad at the way he does it. And if we're talking Jackson and he's been doing this and he's in this position of power, there's no way he just murdered a man. So it has to be that her
was
husband
bitten or
became
something,
infected or something.
like
got
that,
an
yeah.
infection.
I am optimistic about this because the one thing that I wanted from this season of television is there's a lot of gray area in the first game, and one of the reasons why it didn't gel for me in the second game is they didn't leave things in the gray area. They were very definitive about like who the bad guy and who the good guy was.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's accurate because yes, Joel killed a doctor. The doctor was going to kill an unconscious, non-consenting girl for the chance. Now, Neil has come out years later
I
like an
hated what
asshole
he
and
said,
said,
yes.
and Neil has said, "Oh, it would have cured the whole world." Well,
No.
it would have made a cure. They wouldn't have shared with anybody. They still would have been at
He's
war with
trying
everyone.
to- he's trying to
he tried to retroact, but like this doctor didn't think he was. And we, as the player, you go through it and you're like, oh, he's killed other people before, and they didn't have a cure. They probably don't have the ability to manufacture a cure. So the gray area is wonderful. Like
Yeah.
it's a great scene, and like there's like Abby absolutely deserves to be pissed that her father was killed,
Sure.
but at the same time, as like it.
Joel had a reason.
Joel had a reason, and I think
But-
it's
yeah.
really appropriate if he's sitting down in therapy. He finally, it's a way to clue people in who didn't play the video game to let them know about the gray area. He gets to be like, he was going to kill her. She didn't agree to this. I didn't agree to this, and they get to have that conversation. And otherwise, we just leave it like they did in the video game, where Joel gets yelled at by Ellie, sits there, doesn't defend himself, and then dies.
No, so I think the opposite, because the scene that that this therapist scene replaces, that's the exact same setup. He says the exact same thing at the end. I saved her, you know, and he gets that conviction after thinking about it and realizing it for a while. But he does that with characters that we care about, his brother, and that relationship.
Yeah, I
is
would have
so
liked
much
that
stronger.
too as well with Tommy,
They've
because like
replaced
what
it
happens
with a
next, it would have
therapist.
more
And then
weight
just
to
more
it.
criticism on top of Joel in order to try to retroactively say, oh, well, it isn't that gray. It's more towards this side, and maybe Joel's a bad guy, and he's a bad
He's
influence
never
on
a bad
Ellie.
guy.
He deserves to die. And it's like, fucking shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. And that's what we hate about that. And then another thing is the fucking whole episode is called Future Days. Now, this is another beautiful moment in the game, and it really sets the tone of the relationship and deepens the sadness of their relationship where they're not talking to each other, because there's a flashback, if I'm remembering right, a flashback before that where Joel comes in and he's giving her the guitar and he's playing a song, I think Pearl Jam song, something like that. And it's this song with lyrics that really, really apply it applies to the relationship. And I'm just hoping to God that for whatever reason, like maybe they're just going to do it in a flashback. It's still coming, you know, but to name this episode Future Days and not have them play Future Days in the song to establish that sadness, and then getting the guitar and the reason why she has the guitar and wants to learn how to play guitar because of Joel is a huge missed opportunity, which now in my head almost confirms that episode 2 is not what we think it's going to be. That's not the golf tournament episode.
No.
It's going to be way more building up until the end to try to set that up, which sucks because it's going to be annoying, but whatever. And then I think there's more, and we'll get to. I think they done the dance scene perfectly.
Yeah.
That was a great recreation of the game. Wonderful. So for me, ups and downs.
Yep.
Bella, I hate to start to agree with some people that were already hating with her in season 1, but I'm finding different criticisms than those. I want to make that clear. I do think it's becoming a problem now, and I guess once the moment happens, then that's when the TV version of Bella is going to essentially turn into the video game version of Ellie. But we'll see. So let's go ahead and give our final verdicts for this episode, the premiere of Season 2, Titanic.
I like it. I'm gonna go with the 7. There's some things that, like we discussed already, didn't really work. Bella is. I'm hoping she'll change later. I'm liking the performances by Pedro. Great stuff. I'm hoping this season we see maybe some more infected.
Oh,
We got a
yeah.
lot.
So
We got a
that
lot
was
this
a
one.
problem. I
Yeah.
went back and watched our previous reviews. We felt like the Infected were not enough.
Exactly.
Especially for $10 million an episode.
And that suit that they wasted.
Yeah. I did
so
like
much
the
money
Stalker
on.
here. We'll get into it
Yes.
in spoilers. The Stalker was amazing. I even love the fucking Cordyceps almost having a life of its own. It's just so cool. So more of that. I'm glad that
Yeah.
it was here. That's why I'm going to give this episode credit, but we want to maintain
Yeah,
that.
I want to exactly. I want to continue that. Just whenever we get to Abby, I hope we don't focus more on that stuff and then not the Infected.
Yeah. One more. I'm jumping real quick here because I forgot to mention it. One more change that I don't like, and I know they do this for the TV, but if you're gonna drag this out, which I already know you're gonna drag it out, I don't think I don't think it's in episode 2. They're gonna drag this out. Don't order it like this. You just removed all of the fucking tension by all the audience already knows why Abby wants to kill, Joe. And it's so weird too. Like the characters, I felt like I was watching a CW show initially. They're so clean. They're so like, teenager hot or whatever. It's like, it was weird. It was like, am I watching The Last of Us? Why are they so clean? They're not dirty. They're part of the Fireflies. They have all this, whatever. But I felt like that kind of ruined it. We needed to keep her reasons kind of ambiguous and then have that big emotional reveal and do that and kind of string along. But no, they just kind of, they're just like explaining everything to the audience, and it gets kind of annoying. It removes some of that nuance and that inferring, and the audience kind of doing some thinking. It's all done for them. So I thought that also hurt it as well. Alex.
I like parts of it. I think I like the kind of the grocery store thing. I love that we're getting with the Infected, kind of leading with it. Though I don't like. There's something off for me when I'm watching these scenes about these two girls breaking in there and just kind of being so cavalier about something that is so.
That was another thing.
And it's just like
it was kind of awkward when they fought.
Yeah, and it's like there's 6, there's 6 infected killing a bear, and they're like, oh my god, how dangerous is this thing? And then they're kind of. I get that Ellie thinks that she's indestructible and she has this whole thing where she doesn't necessarily care.
Yeah.
And she's not quite suicidal, but it's not super far off from that. But it's like, I would expect at least Dina to be like, what are you doing? This is dangerous.
Yes.
And so, like, Dina was kind of along for the ride. So I think some of the tone is kind of weird. But overall, I think it's definitely above average. It was a little slow. I think we're setting some things up and we're making some changes.
Yep.
But I think it's an above average season premiere, but I don't know. I have a lot of things that I'm potentially worried about that I'm trying not to take out on this specific episode.
What did you give it? You're gonna
A
get
6.
the golf club. That is actually my score as well, and that's kind of low for me because I've been given this series 9s and 10s in season 1, so slightly above average. A lot of things missing, and is not. I didn't think it was quite as well executed. Plus, I'm not a big fan of this particular story. Anyway, 6 out of 10 for the opening. We'll see in episode 2. Do we get, or are they going to drag it out? Predictions, Joe. Are they going to drag it out?
Third.
What episode? Episode 3?
Yes.
Alex, what episode? Remember, there's 7.
4.
4?
Damn.
Okay. I want it 2. I know it's not going to be 2. I'm going to say episode, you said 3,
He still got a
4.
ways to go. She saw the place.
And there's still tons of flashbacks and stuff for next
6.
season, too. So
6. I'm going to go 6. I just feel
Ain't no
like,
way.
why split this into 2 seasons? There has to be this huge emotional break. It's 6 or 7. It's goddamn 6 or 7.
I'm just gonna be like, do it already.
I'll
Jesus
respect them a
Christ.
little bit more if they get it done in episode 2. But all right. So for all those particular reasons, and yeah, here we go. And it's time to go to the golf tournament. We shall see.
Yep.
Okay. If you want to stick around for the episode breakdown and the spoilers, extra spoilers, then stick around. If not, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and see you on the next Angry Joe Show.
If I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself. Our future days of you and me.
Hey guys, Welcome to the spoiler section. You asked for it. The game has been out for like a fucking decade. Joel is going to be murdered by Abby. Abby is going to get fucking jacked. She's going to be bigger than Alex.
She's not going to get jacked.
She is.
She said.
So you think they already said it? The actress is like, nah, I'm not getting jacked.
Yeah,
that
Robert,
sucks.
like probably in shape, but not going to be huge.
So that means that her
CGI,
boyfriend
CGI
or
some muscles.
her crew is going to beat up Joe 4, and then she's going to take it out on him when he's helpless. That fucking sucks. Even more. I would hate that even more than just big old, you know, these arms, and you just get your cabeza explodes. If you're a zombie. Anyways, okay, so we get the recap. We get some giraffes, teasing into season 1 stuff, and then we get introduced to Abby, and she's like, she's not jacked, and people are like, this is so stupid. It's like, yeah, but wait to see what they do with her in 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
If they put some CGI muscles on her, then we can laugh at it. If they don't, then we can laugh at it because he put himself in a corner. It's just not realistic in this.
It's going to be so unbelievable because, again, like the new Captain America, that Black Widow is 4 feet tall. She's like fighting these dudes in the hallways. Like,
and we found it ridiculous. And that's why I found Ellie here about to do some of these things.
Yeah.
But don't you Neil Druckmann, don't you fucking cower away. I want to see Caitlin Devers punch a fucking zombie in the face.
Not gonna happen.
Then he was wrong, and then he went over the top, and he was wrong. Okay, so then Ellie takes down a fully grown man, and I was laughing the whole time. Now I did appreciate how they said he pulled his punch.
They would have knocked you the fuck out.
I would have knocked you the fuck out. And she's like, don't do that. But even when she's like doing her Krav Maga and grappling around his head, that's at one moment, he picks her up, but then he's like, oh, no, just fucking boom, slam her down, and she's done. That's it. But no, he doesn't do it because we have to pretend that Ellie is a murder ninja, and she can take on, because we're going to get into this religious stuff, we're going to get into these crazy people, and Ellie has to murder a ton of people.
Well, a ton of people, and then after she kills them and shoots them in the face, she says things like, yeah, you deserve that. Because remember how mean she is when she's like murdering these people.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
That's what she say after she beat him up? Boom, or I forgot.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's like, you can't be saying that.
Yeah. And then let's see. Nina and Joel get a scene. This is new. I like this. And that kind of enriches the Dina's character. She's looking almost like a father-like figure, Joel to her as well. This I like. This is a good change. New stuff. Ellie's mad at him, and he's like, you're her best friend. Can you tell me why? And this, but, he doesn't want to come right out and say it and this and that. So there's that push and pull, and it's good. Then we get a scene with Ellie and Joel's brother, Tommy, and they are
shooting zombies.
Yeah, shooting zombies, and she's just acting like a brash, spoiled brat as she was in season 1. She's like, yeah, I'm immune. He's like, shut the fuck up. And she's just screaming it out there. But they show that this society learns how to kill. And so,
And he's trying to discipline her already from that scene. It's like, look, you went away from your squad. You're not supposed to do that. And what does she do?
It goes away from the squad. Again. It's fucking annoying.
And I'm with Alex.
They didn't really have that in the game.
Yeah, there's no consequences.
They were just on patrol.
Like, even when they were counseling, it's like, oh, why'd you do that? It's like, well, why is it different? Is it because you're the recon?
Right.
We told you.
You got to take this serious.
Yes.
You're not taking it serious.
You're not in the other squad.
You just think you're a superhero or something. Yep. And I get why they're doing it, because it's some drama that they can have there in mind in this first one, but it's not who Ellie is, at least not in the games, and that story was set up in that particular way, so they're just doing something different. Anyways, we get Joel. Joel's a builder now, and he's doing all this stuff, and he's like, well, maybe we don't have room for these people. And I'm with Joel. It's like, yeah, if our city can handle 1,000 people and then another 500 show up,
you're going to run out of food, resources.
You're going to kill the 1,000 people that we have. And she's like, yeah, well, don't forget, you were a refugee once, too.
I earned my keep.
Like, Bitch, I'm bailing on this shit. You want me to cock you? I got a cock over here, and I got a cock this fucking. It's on the top of my list. Where are they gonna find all the cock, Joe? You gonna make cock? Gotta make cock. Okay.
She's mud.
She needed cock. Anyway, because it was getting cold in there. And then
They all live one person to a fucking house in this place. It's like maybe the psychoanalyst can have a roommate. Joel lives in a house by himself. Ellie lives in a garage.
Yeah, true. Well, you just ruined my point, goddammit, Alex. But yeah, then you get the scene where the little kid's like shooting Joel, and he's like, foreshadowing.
Because he's a monster. You shooting monsters?
Yeah, he's a monster.
Oh, God, I hate this. So, anyways, next is the therapy session. You shot and killed my husband, Eugene. I hated this. It was stupid. And we're supposed to be mad at him. We're supposed to be like, oh, this guy is full of himself. He doesn't understand himself. He's like brazenly choosing and not considering any other opinions. It's like, yeah, well, he chose the right. Fuck off.
He saved your life.
No, I'm a good guy, and I saved him, and this and that, and they're trying
in his own mind,
trying to shed that in a negative
he's the good
light.
guy.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna learn more. They can't just drop this. You killed my husband, and I'm your therapist, and then that's it. There has to be something coming. So that's what I'm saying. Episode 2, episode 3. They might even do, you know how in season 1 they kind of went on a tangent and did some new stuff for a whole episode, kind of put the main story on break. I think one of those is coming, you know? Because we need to know how Joel will kill somebody.
Pissed.
A human, but it has to be that he turned. I swear to God, I should have said this in the main review. If they fucking change this and try to make Joel a bad guy and he kills Eugene because
we're done watching
he's
it.
trying
We're not going to watch it
because
anymore.
he's trying to save the secret. You know, Joe, like maybe Eugene finds out Ellie's secret and he kills him, or he like infects him on purpose and kills him so that, you know, he wouldn't get in trouble, and put that moral ambiguity. Oh, maybe he's not a good guy. Maybe he's crazy trying to protect his daughter. I will stop watching.
Yay!
I'll fucking stop watching.
They better not fucking do that, man.
I feel like there's a small hint and whiff of that, especially if Neil Druckmann's like, oh, yeah, you fucking idiots don't think that my way of writing Joel was, I got to justify this, and you're going to justify it even more and turn Joel into a monster.
I loved it when everything was gray, and then we gotta have a really fun.
We need gray.
We like Joel has said multiple times he's not a good man. Like he knows he's not a good man.
Except for in this episode, I'm a good man.
Well, so it's like it's so nice when because that's when things are interesting to me, when it's just like, oh, he was clearly this, and then they were clearly this. It's like I don't want that from you, but we're not there yet.
Yeah,
so
we're not there yet, man. I almost want to give this a 5, but I'm trying not to let what's coming next and to drag down what's initially here.
He's gonna tell her everything that happened, like, because they're not gonna drop this thing. That's why I said, like, I think he's going to tell her. It's like, hey, they were going to kill her. I had to save her, and then it's gonna explain the situation, because most people watching the show didn't read all the stupid little.
If they
tapes.
add some additional Joel killing or Joel fucked upness, I'm gonna be pissed.
I hope not.
Anyways, and so we get that tension there. What did you do? What did you do? And he's, crying. And see, both of these actress and actor, this is
great.
This is the difference. This is why it's a 6 out of 10. Because these are people, even, they don't play the game. They don't know the fucking script. They're executing what they're doing. And I fully believe each of them in this thing. You're just going to, and then, what is it? He says, I saved her, and he walks off. Now we go to the patrol, and he goes, yellow good, green bad. And I'm like, what? Why? I would be like, excuse me? Why is green bad? Green should be good. Yellow is warning.
Yeah, switch it up, just in case
but
somebody
yellow is good.
picks
You're
it
gonna
up.
confuse me. I don't know. Maybe they change it for each patrol.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, but it was stupid. And so you're going out. They're kind of fucking being disrespectful to
There's Kate. Kat.
Kev. Fucking what's his name?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the squad leader, Jeff.
No, Jesse. I think it's
Jesse.
Jesse.
I know it's
They're being disrespectful to Jesse. And Kat is leading the thing.
Yeah.
Kat is kind of, I'm not sure in the games, mentioned in the games, a previous fling that she had. And Kat is the one that gave her the tattoo that she tries to cover up the bite after the chemical burn to cover up the bite. So That's who's leading it. And they're talking, they're kind of further behind because they're buds, they're best buds, and you got that. And you got these two generic cowboy-looking guys that go with them. And then they do some stupid shit.
He says,
yeah.
listen to Cat. She
Yeah,
doesn't listen to
She
Cat.
don't listen to nobody. In fact, she sees a fucking bear, this massive zombified bear with its guts ripped out. She goes, yeah, I'm going inside. Really?
Then the cowboy has his
Fuck.
one line. You're going to let them go inside?
That I know, no, but I'm with him. Like, are you just gonna let them go in? It's stupid, but
They got 5 minutes.
and then they have to fucking drop the goddamn line. Would you rather let the men handle it? It's like, I get what she's doing here because she's like, hey, we're young and, you know, the grown-ups are doing everything. Let's do something ourselves. But it's like, why did you? We
But you're
didn't
not
have to.
supposed
You didn't
to.
have. Just say that. Just say grown-ups. We didn't have to press this angle so much. It's just annoying.
Well, that was only the first time they did it because they did it multiple times this episode.
yeah,
Like, we're just as good, except okay.
Yeah, no, you're not. And then and then they switched to knives. What was this all about? I hated
Stealth.
the scene where she
Stealth.
goes,
Stealth
attack.
Oh, okay, that's right. They want stealth attack. I'm like, okay, so and
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. This scene is dragging on too long.
yeah. I didn't like it too much. If you're wondering why they take all these risks and because if you're just why you don't play the game, you're like, well, what the fuck? Like, why are you antagonizing these clickers? Why is this little girl walking up to this horrifying creature that could kill her in any instant? Whether it infects her or not, it can fucking,
Tear you in
hurt
half.
her. It's because it's the video game. And so in the video game, Ellie's a fucking badass, and she can walk up, and she's almost as tall as some of the clickers. Just pop, Here, she has to do, ah! She's like a little fucking flying squirrel, and she jumps on the back, and she's like, and it's like, it's just different, and I don't know.
Are you trying to explain to me that there are different mediums, and then perhaps the way we portray characters
right.
is going to be different?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to explain
Yeah,
to you, and
it's
I'm
hard.
also explaining how I don't like this one,
Yeah.
and it leads to some forced drama and rolled eyes. However, I really liked the stalker. So once she falls through the floor, and then she's looking at a magazine. It's like a women's magazine, and she's interested in it. She hasn't seen that kind of stuff. That's cool. Then you got this little stalker, behind her. And the stalker fucks up, just like Joe in Stealth, makes a bunch of noise. She's like, ah! It's like, well, you just ruined it. You could have got her if you were doing a great job. And she's like, "Rah!" And then Ellie notices. She's like, come on, come at me. But it didn't come at her. It actually runs off, makes Ellie chase her, and ambushes her.
Ambushes her. See?
So I like
Stealth.
that.
It's
Good
still
shit.
stealth.
Yeah, and the stalker.
Still work.
I didn't think the stalker was in. It was in the game we played. I gave it 10 out of 10 because that was the remaster. But I think the first game didn't have the stalkers. It was the remaster that had the stalkers. Of course, part 2 has the lore of them. But yeah, it was cool to see him, and I thought it was well done. She gets bit, which that doesn't happen in the games, I don't think. And she gets bit, she hides it, and then later on, what? Cauterize it? No, just cuts it off or something?
she's cutting it to make it look like a bite mark.
Oh yeah, like a what? Not mark?
Oh, not like a bite mark, and then she
She'll
sews
probably
it up.
be like,
yeah.
oh, I
Different,
fell
yeah.
down and something hit me. That's
Right.
it.
To make it less like a bite
Yep.
mark.
She wasted a ton of whiskey to try it. It's lady, no.
Yeah. And then, but I don't know. Even in the games, they weren't this calm about a clicker being in that proximity. And if you go back to season 1 and you watch the way they react when there's a single fucking clicker, it's widely different. So I don't know. The depiction's a little odd here. But anyways, then we get the scene of the relationship kind of coming to fruition.
Yep.
And I've seen a lot of annoying comments that say, "Oh, that."
They were
I don't
acting
know if I
like
wanna
that
address this.
old man in the.
They were acting like
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah.
it's what it was.
basically. So many people are gonna do a "this is forced" when what many of them really mean is, I don't want to see no gay people on my TV, basically. So there's going to be a lot of that going on, and people telling on themselves because they don't know that Ellie, this is the way Ellie is, and she's gay. And sometimes media depicts some gay relationships. So it's depicted here, and I think it's extremely well done. It almost follows the games to a T. Love
I had no
the
problem with the scene.
cinematography,
It looked
love the
great.
music, and like I said, I like this Dina better than the video game Dina. She's just more charismatic. She's just like, I don't know. There's a way about her, more gentle and kind of love, where it's like, yeah, cool, good for y'all. Whereas the previous Dina, I'm like, who the fuck is this asshole? It's like, I never really got to like her until the very end of the game when I'm just forced to. But here I'm already liking Dina, so it's a good counter for Ellie, especially when Ellie's still acting like an idiot, and Dina's just kind of following her lead. This will let Dina be like, cut it out, stop being an idiot, eventually. So the scene plays out. The white dude is there like, hey, yeah, you fucking dykes, and this is a family event. And Joel comes in, boom. Like,
what'd you say? He looked like she was gonna go attack him.
Yeah.
But then Joel steps in.
Joel steps in. She's like, I don't need your
That's my
fucking
daughter.
help. Yeah. And they changed
I
it.
was mad. I was
to
like,
knock
leave
his
him
ass
alone.
on the ground. So people
Joel's trying to be a
I don't
father.
like- yeah. I'll allow it because, you're just being a protector.
Yeah.
He's being a protective father, and I get it. That's when Joel gets emotional, and I will back Joel getting emotional.
Yeah, because he's trying to do everything he can to win her back and
Mm-hmm.
have it like it was before, but he just feels so neglected, and now he's like, oh, fuck, I'll just go home.
Yeah.
Sad.
Joel comes in and wants, what does he say? Something like, your strings are busted. He wants to fix the guitar. He just doesn't know how to, deal with the teenage daughter, and he wants to fix this, but, I think that was before the dance.
That was before.
Yeah.
Like, after the whole scene happened, she starts walking back home, sees Joe on the porch playing the guitar, and just walks past him.
Yep. Yeah. And then
I think it ends. We just see a flash of.
we do
Abby.
get the pipes. That's what it was. No, they
Abby
have the
and then-
moment where they
the pipes
walk, and then he's got the guitar, and I'm like, oh, are they gonna do the future days part? Are they gonna try to make up? And are we gonna get that all in episode 1? But she walks right by him. But I think as the audio is going, as soon as she leaves the screen, her footsteps stop. You hear her footsteps really, really loud, and her footsteps stop. So I suspect that in a future, she's going to stop and then come back, and then they're going to have the scene. So hopefully that is a thing.
Yeah,
Or
hopefully
they change it a little bit and they do it another time or something. But they show in this scene that the growth fungus is growing in the pipes. This is a new thing. I like Alex. He's like, was this in the original game?
couldn't remember.
I couldn't remember either. And I was like, no, because it's a new thing. Because in the games, there's the wearing the masks and the spores that can change you. Here, it has to be a bite. And so, because Jackson is constantly patrolled, one of the criticisms people levied at the game is how could they be so stupid and not having seen all these they were supposed to have patrols, so how could they be ambushed by a bunch of clickers in the future? Well, they set it up perfectly because this is a web now, right? You touch the web, it lets all the clickers in the area know and come at the same time in an instant. So they've kind of fixed that and set that up in the future. And then just like you said, the last scene is
Abby. She sees the town, and they start walking towards, and the fade to black.
really mad.
We heard a dude named Joel lives here.
She looks exactly the same. To be fair, she's in a huge winter coat, so we can't see if she's fucking ripped and ready to rock.
I'd say maybe like 5 pounds of muscle.
No,
She
the
didn't
game
get-
says she can
I
bench
don't think-
185.
Oh, did they? I
In the
don't think
game?
they. That's right.
Because it was funny because I was teasing Joe. It's like, you can't even do that.
I
He
can
can't.
do it now.
Joe can do it. I can't. So when it's not gonna hit. What did I write here? So because they've kind of changed the order of stuff, this moment isn't gonna hit as hard when the moment comes. I don't think for audiences.
I'm still
Especially
gonna be
when you're
mad.
spelling it.
I'm
it
still
all
gonna be
out.
mad
Yeah.
for sure. So it's gonna hit me the same way. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Why? I'm so curious how it's going to hit, the casual watchers. All right, what else? They skipped the snowball fight. That was fun little thing that they did in the games. I'm just talking about the game stuff. They added 3 people to the patrol. It was just Dina and Ellie out there doing their thing. And they kind of made them look like rookies fighting clickers, when Ellie gets bit and stuff. And they throw the shade at the 2 cowboy-looking dudes, but it's like, I would want their help. Let's I don't want to get hurt.
No.
Anyways, I loved Ellie in the first game. I didn't like Ellie in the second game.
So I'm hoping they'll change her character.
No, I think they're actually doing even worse with Ellie right now. And then if they suddenly shift and do what Ellie does in the game, I'm still gonna hate it.
There's a main character change in the first game. I mean, it's like emotional manipulation 101. Ellie shoots dogs. She's mean to people that she murders. Abby pets the dogs. She is nice to these people, and she only wants revenge on the bad guys.
Please,
so it's like
Abby.
And so like it was a main character swap, right? Like you expected to play Ellie. Expectations subverted, motherfucker. You're gonna play Abby, and so it's like. I imagine you were not supposed to like Ellie.
Fucking jacked, so don't worry. You don't need Joel. You got Abby. She's fucking jacked and fun. See, well, and now they're not going to do that in the show. Anyways, I feel like it ruined a lot of moments by revealing them a lot earlier, kind of deflating some of the tension and some of the mystery. But overall, it was okay. That's why I ended up giving it a 6 out of 10. But some people were like, well, it's impossible to find a buff actress. I'm like, no, it's not. Look at Katie O'Brien. She is fucking perfect. Look at these pictures. That would have been a perfect Abby. Maybe not quite at the video game level. What superhero shit she does, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you can also just pay them like they paid, what is his name, David Corn Sweat or Henry Cavill, and you give them a bunch of money, and you're like, hey, you're gonna eat nothing but chicken and broccoli for a solid year, get huge.
Yeah, but that's what the actress is like. I'm not fucking doing that. And HBO's like, all right. Yeah, it was stupid anyway. But they have not cast Lev and Yara. So that to me says that they're not in obviously they're not in season 2. They're going to be saved for season 3. So that storyline.
Which one are Lev and Yara?
The bald lady, the bald one, and the other one, and just when the story goes off the rails and we're checked out.
Oh yeah. I remember now.
The crazy people.
Yeah.
All right. And then let's see. We didn't like.
It was a long time ago.
And we didn't like it in the first place. I had to look this up too. So, and then I'm just wondering, can Bella actually play a more adult-like Ellie after the event happens?
That's what I'm hoping.
Maybe.
Yeah. He's got to hope.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that y'all want to highlight here? I think we've covered pretty much everything.
No.
Why is Abby's crew so fucking clean? That got pointed out by somebody else, and now it's getting to me. I don't understand.
They were at a funeral. Maybe they wanted to make sure they were clean.
Oh, I gotta talk about this. They already fixed trying to fix one of the criticisms from the game. So I already see Neil Druckmann trying to set this up. So one of the criticisms from the game that we levied at it, maybe trying to do it directly at us, is they don't know his full name. So she goes, like they knew in the game, they knew it was Joel Miller. I'm going to fucking kill Joel Miller. Here, they're like, it's Joel or Joe or something. But Abby instead knows exactly what he looks like in his age range. So they're going to try to change that. And I'm like,
pretty handsome.
Are they doing our parody? Are they criticizing us? Because when I said, when Joel meets her, he's like, my name is Joel Miller, and I live down the street at 21789. I leave my door open back on Mondays through Tuesdays. And if anybody ever wanted to come in and kill me and my whole family and everybody I cared about, make sure to go 2 houses down to the next house, and they leave their windows open, and you can just climb it, that kind of stupid shit, I guess. So now it doesn't matter if he goes, my name's Joel Miller, as much. I don't know. Just thought that was kind of weird. We'll see. And I don't think that she's going to get to do it slowly. She makes this emphasis, no, we're going to kill him slowly. No, she's probably going to be rushed like the game and then just takes the fucking club and just does it.
I think she's going to beat him for a long time with the club, and then she's going to save the head for last.
Yeah. And it sucks because, and then I don't want to watch after. I really don't. I don't care about it. The only big conflict that you have after Joel is gone and Pedro Pascal, one of the best actors in the series, like Joel said, I don't think Bella can carry the show. And what we'll have is fucking Murder Ninja versus Big Beefy Abby.
Some flashbacks.
And that's the big conflict.
There's one really good flashback. I mean, there's the museum flashback. The best part of the whole game.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. But I think we're about to hit the iceberg, and it will be interesting.
Iceberg straight ahead.
Let us know if you want us to go episode by episode, or you just do like 3, one in the middle, one at the end. Let us know how it goes, or maybe we'll do one when they actually do the moment, whether it's episode 2, 3, 4, 6.
Three.
That's where it's at. And yeah, so thank y'all so much for watching. What did you think? And leave your comments down below, and we will see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.